Good morning. Well, all right. Do we have sound? We don't appear to have sound. Do we? One, two, three. I don't appear to be getting sound. Hello? Do we have sound? Yes. Yay. All right. Well, good morning. It's Monday morning, and it is time for my Monday morning video. This is my first time doing a video on YouTube. Um, I've uploaded videos from my phone to YouTube years ago, but I haven't actually done live YouTube. So, yay, new technology, new experiences. One of the things that I have discovered about being an author is that being an author is not enough. Instead, you have to become a marketer, an editor, a graphics expert, a videographer, a photographer. There is so much to doing this. In the good old days, when the only way you could get books was to go through a traditional publisher, a lot of this stuff was done by the publisher. But the result of that was that the amount of money brought home by the average author was mere cents on the book. And in some cases, it was as low as 2 or 3 cents per book. That's not a lot. The term starving author is there for a reason. In today's world, we get much more per book when we are doing self publishing via print on demand, for instance, rather than a vanity press. We actually can make up to a buck or sometimes $2 per book. And that doesn't sound like a lot. Um, But it is when you consider the fact that previously you were looking at a cent or 2 or 3, and so I'm willing to take it. I don't write for the money, I write because the stories are in my head, but I also have to pay the bills and buy the food and clothe the children and myself. So there's kind of a limit, and the time that I spend writing has to be worthwhile for me as well as for my family. And so selling my books, while not my primary concern, certainly is a concern that I have. And I'm pretty sure that most authors share that concern. We're telling our stories because we want you guys to read them. And if you're not able to read them, or it's too expensive for you to read, or it's not available in the right format, that doesn't do anybody any good. One of the reasons why I've been so proactive about getting my books out into bookstores as well as available through Kindle Press and um, Kindle Direct Publishing via Amazon is because I want my stories to be available to the widest possible audience. Not because I want to make $1 million. Although, if I make $1 million, yay, gives me time to write more books, guys. Just a hint. Um, but on a serious level, the more ways that I can provide for you to pick up the book, the better. And so one of the things that I am looking into for the future, not right this second, because I have a learning curve when it comes to technology, and right now it's YouTube technology. Um, but one of the things coming up will be books on audio. So through, I can't remember the name of the program. Oh my gosh, brain fart. But the Audible, there we go. Audible allows people to listen to books, and so I am at the process in the process right now of trying to decide whether I want to read that book myself, the first one, or if I want to have somebody else read it. I have a fairly decent reading voice and speaking voice, and I know what my characters are thinking, so there's that. But somebody who does it professionally also has an up. In this particular case, my skill set is higher than perhaps the traditional author, simply because I started out doing a lot of public speaking because I do minister work. And so I'm used to speaking in front of crowds. I've done um, public speaking with Toastmasters and with a couple of other programs. And I do teach classes and do talks and videos and things like that. So I have a good grasp on not saying every 2 seconds and that kind of thing. And I know the material because, it's my book. However, you have to look at it. Is a voice actor going to do a better job for me than I am? And that's entirely possible. I can at this point tell you, I'm very excited that the new cover for Bloodstone is going to be coming out in the next week or two. I have the art has been approved. I'm waiting on the files coming through. Um, the book cover was done by Starla, and I will be crediting her in the new version of the book. So if you have one of the original covers, that's about to become a collector's edition. Woo woo. The new covers are more in line with what other books in my genre are presenting. And so you'll actually get kind of a visual on what Alex looks like and a little bit of her doing her thing or failing to do her thing, as the case may be, because sometimes she's more of a error than successful trial. But it's kind of exciting and a little bit heartbreaking because I really liked that first cover. But here's the thing, that first cover, that was me. That was my view. That was the image that I had for the book. And it doesn't necessarily reflect what's in the book, it reflects what's in me. If you all buy my books and we end up with enough readers and enough collectors that a boxed set of the first 3 or 5 books becomes a reality, you will see a limited edition run in the covers as I originally envisioned them. It's my hope that we'll reach that point because I would love to do that. But at this point, from a strictly marketing sense, I need to go with what the professionals say. One of the hardest things for anybody, but in particular right now, me, is to trust my experts. I'm an expert at editing, but not my own stuff. So when I'm doing the editing for somebody else, I expect them to listen to me because I am the expert they're paying for. When I can't do that for my own writing. And it's very difficult for authors to do it for their own writing. That's why you pay other people to do it. Um, when you are looking at your own material, you miss things. Where if somebody else were to write the word the twice, you would see it as an editor. I see it as an editor. It stands up off the page. That's not true when you're editing your own stuff. You wrote it and your eyes skim over things and they don't see errors. I can't tell you how many times I've had people catch errors that I had no idea were there. Um, I was using the Kindle version of the book to do some um, timeline work and discovered that the Kindle version, thank heavens not the print version, but the Kindle version actually has a couple of errors in it, grammar errors. I was mortified. I'm horrified. And anybody who has purchased a Kindle version, it's going to update soon. Don't panic. I'm not taking anything away. I'm just fixing a spelling error. Shame. I need a big bell. I feel horrible. However, it is going to get fixed. And that is one of the beauties of Kindle and um, Kindle Direct Publishing is that I can fix those things if I find them, and the new versions that go out will be correct. I have not found any more errors in the print version, which is awesome. I'm very glad of that because it was really embarrassing to find spelling and grammar errors in the Kindle. I don't know what happened, but things happen. I will be hopefully having a professional editor deal with that stuff, editing for print and for Kindle. And then I have a professional who will be doing the typecasting and how, or typesetting, pardon me, for setting up how the book looks when it's printed out or when it's on your Kindle screen, Kindle reader. It's a fascinating process because I don't know all of these pieces. I'm still learning a lot of them. So I have to really rely on my experts. I have to say Starla is definitely an expert when it comes to graphics. Her cover, both front and back, just blew me away. It was hard, but it blew me away. If you want to hear the rest of the story about how this book came, the first book, Bloodstone, came to be, and if you want to hear the story of the original cover, I urge you all to come out to my um, author signing at Toadstool Books in Peterborough, because I am going to actually talk a little bit about the origins of Alexandra and Des and the whole cadre of vampires that are in there. And I'm going to be talking about how the book came to be and a little bit about my writing process. I don't write apparently like other people write, and so I wanted to share a little bit about that. There's no magic formula on how to write. There's no manual. I mean, there's plenty of manuals out there, but nothing out there fits every author. There are plenty of successful authors who do it completely different from everybody else, and we have to respect that. I look at Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman writing Good Omens. Is I mean, it's a fantastic book. I love the book. It warms my heart. I look at Douglas Adams writing uh, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the associated series that goes with that. None of those authors sat down and wrote the story the way the books tell you to do it. I'm pretty sure that Good Omens was not written from a plot outline. If you read it, it's just too bizarre. I have a funny feeling that the two of them were trying to throw such huge wrenches into the works that it would derail the other author. They had fun with it, and in doing so, with the finished project of Good Omens, we get to enjoy the fun that they had in writing it. I write more like that, so I don't know. I'm different. I don't have the same kind of level of plot outlines. I will say that as I've gotten into the writing headspace, more and more stories are coming to the fore. There are things that I've had notes of in my box of possible outlines for years and years. And some of those are calling to be written, and some of them fit into things that I already have. But there are new ones that are arriving out of thin air. I have some fantasy stuff, which I never really thought I would write. I love reading fantasy, but I don't tend to write fantasy. And this new story popped up in my head the other day, and it will not let go. It's not in Alex's universe at all. It's a completely different world, if you will. And so I'm kind of excited. I'm going to write down the notes. It'll be a while before the finished project is done. Um, I have other books that are in the queue before that. Before I write anything else, I have to finish the first three of the Taylor Mage novels because I promised myself that. And then I have a couple of others that are kind of in the chute that have to come out. And then there are more Taylor Mage novels that are rattling around in my brain. So I have lots of things coming up. Everything's looking rosy. My creative juices are flowing. Um, Not that it's a stressless environment, but my brain is producing interesting and I think unique storylines, and I'm going to run with it. And I hope that you guys will read them and enjoy them and give me some feedback. And as always, if you have read my book, whether you purchased it on Amazon or not, please consider going and reviewing it on Amazon. I know I talk about this every week, but it really and truly, those reviews are what keep authors alive. It's how we sell things on Amazon, and it's really important to help us keep the ball rolling. So read, review, encourage other people to review, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.